All right, so this is the last day of notes. So this is what the front page looked like. We had day 1 and day 2, right? Those were those. And then we did day 3 yesterday. That was the top of the back. And today we are doing the bottom of the back side of the page, which has these problems on them, number 7 and 8. So if you would go down to those, that would be great. And so here is the difficulty with these guys. So let's talk about them. You now have neither equation that will match. So neither equation that should not be there. I spelled that wrong. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Neither EQU. Neither equation will have matching values or even one that you can multiply just to get to the other one. So you will need to multiply both equations in order to make the x's or the y's the same number, but with opposite signs. And so I'll give you a little tip. This is something that will always work. You can always, sometimes you'll get bigger numbers than you need. And I'm only going to do this on one of the two problems. I'm going to show you why. But you can always multiply the coefficient on the first equation how do I want to word this? Multiply the coefficient on the first equation by equation 2, multiply. So, no, we're going to back up a little bit here. I'm sorry, we're going to have to erase. Multiply Okay, so multiply the second equation by the coefficient, I-E-N-T, of the first equation. And multiply the second equation, or the first equation. This is hard to put into actual words. It's easier to just do. Multiply the first equation by the coefficient of the second equation. SECO, second. Okay, so here's what I mean. Okay, let's go back and look at these words. You can multiply the second equation, so that means I'm going to multiply this equation by the coefficient, that's the number in front of the variable, of the first equation. So let's say I want to get my y's to be the same. Okay. So I'm going to take the coefficient from that one and multiply it out here. Let's get rid of this thing. And then I'm going to multiply the first equation by the coefficient of the second equation. So the second one, and multiply out here. Okay, so this is a tip that will always work. Now, check out our signs. We're going to have 5 times negative 2 is going to give us a negative 10y. 2 times negative 5 is going to give us a negative 10y. One of these has to be negative. Doesn't matter which one. So I'm just going to go negative. Okay, now we're going to do what we've been doing all week. Okay, we're going to multiply these guys out. I'll do the first one in red. So I'll go boom, boom, boom. And that's going to give me minus 35x minus 10y equals 100. I'll do the other one in green. We'll have Christmas colors. And this is going to be minus 10x plus 10y. This is a positive 10. Did anybody catch that when I did it? Is equal to negative 2 times 0 is 0, so don't fall for that. And then I'm going to add down. So negative 35 plus 10 is negative 25x. My y's will cancel, equals 100. And then I'm going to divide by negative 25. Divide by negative 25. And x is going to equal negative 4. And now I can plug back into either equation. So I like the bottom one. Negative 5x minus 5y equals 0. X is going to equal negative 4. So 20. Then I'm going to subtract off 20. Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. And so my ordered pair here is negative 4, positive 4. Okay? So let me show you again how that would work up here. Multiply the second equation by the coefficient on the first. So that's this guy. And then multiply the first equation by the coefficient on the second. Okay? You can totally do that. So here's what we would get if we did that. I would get a 48x minus 24y equals 6 times negative 20 is negative 120. And then I have negative 24x plus 24y is equal to 18 times 4 is 72. These would cancel out. This is a 24x. This is a negative 48. If I divide both these by 24, I get x equals negative 2. Now, your other option here, and some of you are going to see this and some of you won't, is if I had multiplied by, let's say, this one by 3 and this one by 2, I could have made both of these 12s, right? Or I could have multiplied this guy by 3 and this guy by 4 and made both of these 24s. So there's other things you can do here. And if that just went over your head, just completely ignore me and do what I told you at the beginning. But if you see other ways to make the numbers the same, do that. You don't have to use that tip that I gave you. Okay, so now I have 8x minus 4y equals negative 20. We're going to let that guy go in there. So 8 times negative 2 There's a bunch of people talking in the hallway, and I hope nobody wanders in here and interrupts. It could happen. Add 16, add 16. Negative 4y equals negative 4. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, and y equals 1. Ordered pair, negative 2, comma 1. All right, we are all done with these notes. Make sure that you now turn these into Google Classroom, both sides of the paper, for your points for your notes. Okay? And that's it for now. Toodaloo.